Welcome to It is Market Movers on a Monday, coming to you live from our Camden HQ here at Studio S. My name is Dan Koob, executive producer of content and media here at Sports Trade. Of course, every Monday we are joined by Anita Marks, but we'll first jump into the order book before we say hello. We're talking about the best trades of the NFL Week 4 slate. Of course, it is Monday night, which means we have Monday Night Football, and as we are going to find out, we are going head-to-head right now. We welcome in Anita Markstradamus, who has been absolutely crushing it so far this season with her picks. Welcome, Anita. How are you? How was trading this weekend?
I'm great. Trading was fantastic. I know you and I are going to dive into quite a few games, but you're absolutely right. Not only we're going to look back, obviously, we're going to recap and all the money that we won. And then we're
always the best show, right? It's always the best show when you're talking about money you won as opposed to money you left on the table.
Absolutely. And then we're going to look forward to tonight's game. And again, I'm really, I'm excited because both of us, we're on opposite ends here. So it's, I'm going to be texting you throughout the game tonight. So it's definitely going to be fun.
Fortunately for you, it can pay to be wrong on Sports Trade. But we're going to find out who's going to come out on top. That's for sure. And then, of course, at the end of the show, we'll have the Price is Tight, which is one of our favorite segments. Let's hop into the A block. We were talking about a awesome week 4 of the NFL slate. A week that saw basically a lot of things that we talked about last Monday, Anita, basically coming true, which was buy the Jaguars early. Why? They were trading at just $29 per contract to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And what happened? They go up 14-0. And for everyone watching out there, you should have been listening to Anita and I because we both ended up making some trades early on. I'll throw them up early here on the screen for you, Anita, if you want to take a look. This is an example of what I was able to do. Grab the Jaguars at 29 to go up 14-0. And I actually waited probably too late. I think Anita probably got a better deal than I did. I sold out at 49 and then immediately jumped in on the Eagles at 61, sold again at 79.13. So we call that double dipping, a little George Costanza action going on in South Philadelphia. Tell me a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, so you and I talked about it last week. We both like the Jags. Listen, this Jaguar team, they are for real. Yeah. Right? Even though, unfortunately, Trevor Lawrence, 1 interception, 4 fumbles, it just goes to show you how good that Eagles defense is. But so I bought the Jags to win at 28.50. They went up 14-0 in the first quarter. I sold them at 56.92.
Ooh, okay.
Then I did the same thing you did. I turned around. I bought the Eagles at -6.5 at $27, and I sold them for 88.
Oh my gosh,
baby, yes.
As you like to say,
over 150 total yards, 2 touchdowns. And like I said, that Eagles defense is just so good. So that game was really good to both of us, Dan, right?
As you like to say, a lot of Starbucks. Buying a lot of Starbucks this morning in the Marks household. Thanks to that.
A lot of Starbucks and a lot of shoes.
I wish I could relate to that. Unfortunately, I got a rotation of about 3 pairs. It's pretty pathetic over here. I'm not going to lie. That's what happens over here. But you got great shirts, though. Who was your shirt today?
So I don't know if you could see, because I think you just have me in like a little box.
Yeah,
I don't have the full. I don't have like the Mac Daddy studio that you do that you showed us in the beginning of the show. But anyway, so I'm wearing my, I don't know if you can see it, I'm wearing my Brandon Ayuk shirt tonight. He, to me, has become the legit #1 wide receiver. Of course, Deebo Samuel is utilized as a Swiss Army knife kind of way in Kyle Shanahan's offense. But Brandon Ayuk, 8 targets last week, 5 receptions. I'm hoping for a lot of the same tonight against the Rams.
We'll get to that game in a little bit. Ravens-Bills, another game that both of us looked at last week, and we said, are we sleeping on the Ravens? If you were to roll it back a week, I think I asked the same exact question. And the answer was no. But what you can do, because you can trade these games on Sports Trade, is you could jump in on the Ravens, who I believe are priced at like 39, right? Out of 100, price equals probability on Sport Trade, to beat the Bills, and they were up 20-3, I believe, going into halftime. Of course, the Bills come back and win. So we'll show you a little bit of what that probability chart looked like and what that pricing chart looked like as it pertains to what it was on Sport Trade. The green areas that are filled in are the Bills' probability to win, and of course, the purple are the Ravens. But you see just how far down as we approach halftime the Ravens exactly were before they gave it up. I mean, the biggest play in that game, Anita, 4th and goal, Lamar Jackson intercepted by Jordan Poyer, and from then the Bills were really off and running. How did you approach that one as it unfolded?
So interesting enough, I bought the over at 51 a few days before the game. And then, of course, Hurricane Ian made its way up.
I think Ian's the British one.
Right? Made it by the way, any hurricane that starts with the letter I, like catastrophic. Like always be scared of hurricanes that are named with the letter I, but nonetheless, made its way up north. So I said, you know what? I'm going to buy it back. So I lost like $3 in that. And then I said, okay, but I want to play this game. So what am I going to do? So I bought the Ravens at plus 3.5 for $54.50. They went up at halftime. Dan, it was 2010 at halftime. And I turned around and I sold it for $88.
Wow. Again, making moves. Anita Marks making moves.
Making money moves, baby.
I love it. I love it. Well, you weren't alone. On your screen are my trades from earlier Sunday. Got in at 39.5, sold the Ravens a contract and a half for $110 payout. And then from there, I just said, you know what? Let's hop on the other bandwagon. Rode 2 contracts for the Bills from 40 all the way to 95.5 when I eventually traded out, only because I only sold out, Anita, because we were sitting in this very studio Friday, and Alex Kane, our CEO, was sitting next to me. We were watching the Phillies. They were up 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th, and he said, I'm probably going to sell the Phillies at 97.5 just because. You never know. And what happened was he got in my head, and the Phillies promptly loaded the bases and got out of an absolute jam in which they were then selling at like 70. So the possibility could have been he gave back like $27. I was like, you know what? I'm going to forfeit $10 at the end of this trade, and I'm just going to take my cash and move on. So,
but by the way, last night I bought the Mets to win straight up. And I'm sorry, I forgot what it was. Like, I want to say it was somewhere around 52, something like that. And they went up 2-0 immediately. I turned around and I sold it for 78. So I think I made like a good $25, $30 on the Mets, even though they ended up losing to the Braves. By the Braves.
Okay, the Braves are absolutely on fire. I mean, they may go back to back. Has a baseball team gone back to back since the Yankees? Late 90s? I can't think of any. I'm putting you on the spot. I know. I don't think so.
Oh, I can't. I don't. Yeah, I'm not a baseball historian.
Fair enough. Well, I mean,
yeah, no.
Clearly I'm not either, considering I'm just guessing on air. So one of the things we do want to talk about today, and this is really the power of Sport Trade, is the next game we're going to discuss, which is Packers-Patriots. Now, the Packers came into the game Sunday trading initially, I believe, at $80 to win the game, $82. So the Packers came into the game trading at $82, and the Patriots came into the game, let's see, at I have 25. I think that's a little high. That might be a little high. In any event.
So really quick, I bought the Patriots to win at 28.50.
Okay. So one of the great things you can do on Sport Trade, over the course of the game, it's 10-7 as we're approaching halftime, I believe. I ended up buying the Patriots at, let's see, I bought them at 16. Okay. Aaron Rodgers goes and throws a pick 6 just before halftime, so the Patriots take a lead into half. And I thought to myself, okay, Dan, that's what I call myself. Do we really think the Patriots are going to win the football game? Now, hindsight's 2020, right? They go to overtime, they lose, they go 3 and out in the last 3 drives, whatever. At the time, I never thought that game was going to be all that competitive, despite the fact that I don't like the Packers. I don't love what goes on up there with Aaron Rodgers and everything. And nothing delights me more than watching the Packers lose, frankly. So I saw this and I said, you know what I can do that I can't do anywhere else is I'm going to sell my initial investment plus a little bit more, which was 16, right? I sold for $16.06. So some would call that a hedge. I call this sports trading because what that does, Anita, is it locks in my initial investment. I shouldn't say investment, my initial stake, right? And then everything else after that is profit. So when they go to overtime, at one point it got up as high as $25. The Patriots ended up scoring a rushing touchdown to go up 24-17. I stupidly did not sell out. I let it ride thinking, hey, who knows? But that's something you can't do anywhere else. That is truly one of the things on Sport Trade where you can put in some money, right? Take it out, and now you're just playing scot-free. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So how did you end up trading the end of Packers-Patriots?
So again, I bought the Patriots to win at $28.50. Yeah. I sold right before overtime for $45. But also, because I was following this game, you could have bought the Patriots plus 3.5 as they were closing in, and you were getting the feeling like this game was going to go into overtime. And you could have bought the Patriots plus 3.5 at like $42, $48, something like that, which I regret not doing because, but at the same time, I'm like, it's Aaron Rodgers. Even if it goes into overtime, chances are there's a good chance he can score a touchdown. So I didn't get on that, but that was something that I was considering.
Sports Trade stats and info. The last team to win back-to-back World Series, of course, the New York Yankees, 98, 99, 2000. The Giants won every other year from 2010 to 2014. Thanks, Greg Rappaport, for looking that up for us. I was right on it. Historian of baseball. I bestow that honor upon me once more. Let's hop into Monday Night Football. We are going head-to-head as we look ahead to the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, a game, of course, you should be trading on Sports Trade. The Niners, we talked about it last week. I was surprised the Niners were favorites to this extent coming off of Sunday Night Football against the Broncos where they looked horrible. On the money line, Niners, $55, Rams, $45.50 to win. The spread, 2.5. The Rams plus 2.5 at 51. The Niners minus 2.5 at 50. The over, relatively low, but consider the quarterback and the offensive output of the 49ers. You can tell which side I'm on here, Anita. 51.50 to the over, 49.5 to the under. Yeah, Avi. I am Avi on the Los Angeles Rams tonight at 45.5. You're on the Niners. Explain your case, because I don't see it.
So I'm on the Niners.
You're on the Niners like a lot. Like a lot.
Like a lot. And I'm on the under. Hear me out. Kyle Shanahan, 6-1 against the Rams his last 7 games. Yep. He's 8-3 against the spread in that record. Jimmy Garoppolo, 6-0 against the Rams in the regular season and sports a 70% completion percentage. The Rams defense has struggled to pressure quarterbacks so far this season, and they've got a ton of injuries in their secondary. So I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be able to sit back there, I don't know, maybe bake some s'mores while before he gets the ball out.
One does.
Brandon Ayuk, whose shirt I'm wearing today. Anyway, also for the San Francisco 49ers, their offensive line, they get guard Daniel Brunskill back. Also more, and I've buried the lead here, and really this is all about the 49ers defense, holding opponents to only 9 red zone opportunities this season, and opponents, 50% of their drives end up in 3 and outs. 50%. So their defense is just unreal so far this season. And here's another, I always like to look at the refereeing crew.
Sure.
Okay. Brad Allen is the head official. Okay. For the crew that's going to be officiating this game. Divisional games are 15-3 on the under so far with them in 2022. Divisional games since 2016 that his crew has overseen are 23-12 on the under, which is 66%. So with all that being said, I bought the 49ers to win at $55. I bought the 49ers minus 2.5 at $50. I bought the 49ers at minus 9.5 at $28.50.
I saw that one. That one got my blood moving. I saw that one.
And I bought the under 41.5 at $49.50. So you're absolutely right. I am all over the 49ers for all the reasons that I just shared with you.
Yeah, the under has crept up a little bit, now trading at $50.50 to buy. I do love when people talk about the Shanahan-McVay rivalry, right? But they tend to omit the fact that Sean McVay is 1-0 in the last one meeting, which happened to have just been the NFC Championship game featuring Jimmy Garoppolo. So can the Rams run the ball? Not really. Do they really only have Cooper Kupp? Kinda. Is their defense very top-heavy? They don't have a ton of depth, and that depth has already sort of been tested. Yeah. But you know what? I love the value. I love that this is a division game because division games are always going to be closer. I'm happy that it's kind of a slugfest because if it comes down to a quarterback having to make a play, I'd much rather be backing Matt Stafford than Jimmy Garoppolo, who has shown repeatedly that he can manage. I don't know that he can go win a game. So that's why I'm backing the 49ers tonight. But the beautiful thing is, even though we're going head-to-head, Anita, it doesn't matter. We can both walk out profitable. I just hope I win.
We can.
I just hope I win. That's all. And frankly, the Niners were a Jaqueski Tart away, interception away rather, from winning that game anyway last January. So who knows?
And keep in mind, Deebo Samuel was not 100%.
Yeah,
he was dealing with some injuries there, and Deebo to me is the straw that stirs this drink, in the way that he's utilized when Jimmy Garoppolo was quarterbacking. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I'll tell you what's happening right now. It's New Jersey's favorite pricing game. It is, of course. The price is tight. Welcome back.
I love it.
Anita upended me last week, but I will not be denied. I have only seen her answers for a brief moment, so we're going to start, Anita, with Chargers and Browns. Now, if you're new to this segment, new to the program, basically what we're doing is we are guessing the favorite and what they are priced on Sport Trade. The winner, or whoever, I should say, wins the most guesses, gets the most guesses correct or close enough to the number, gets a point. We add them up every week. Whoever has the most points gets a win for that week. Okay. Anita, we picked some tough ones this week. The slate is rife with difficult games, I feel as though, to price. So we'll start with Chargers and Browns. Your guess for who is the favorite and what they're priced at on Sport Trade to win.
I believe the Chargers are the favorite. And now keep in mind, both these teams are dealing with a plethora of injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But one thing, I think Justin Herbert has proven to us that he can still quarterback at a very high level, even though he's got rib cartilage damage, whatever we're calling it. But I think the power, the defensive line, of course, Myles Garrett and Clowney dealing with injuries on the Browns side, to me is going to offset this. So with that being said, I do like the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to be favored. So I want to believe that they opened up at 52 to straight up win on Sport Trade.
Okay. Now, here's my rationale. And I should have looked at this before I even guessed, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to cheat. I said Browns 51. If you were to track how they've been priced on Sport Trade, which I did because I work here, they opened week 2 at 71.50. Week 3 at 66.50. Last week at 57. They're 1-2 when priced that high. I gotta say, this week priced at just 42.50. Confidence is waning in the Browns. The Chargers at 58 is the correct answer. So not only are they on the road, but they are favored by a significant margin, I would say. So Anita, you get the point there.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I think that's a lot, though.
I think it's a lot too.
I think 58. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about injuries. The Chargers have a ton of injuries.
Yeah, they both defenses have a ton of injuries. Not even sure if Keenan Allen is going to be back for the Chargers.
Rashawn Slater's probably out for the next 2 months too.
Yeah, 58 is surprising to me. What's next?
Next is Titans and Commanders. We'll alternate, so I'll go this time. I don't know what's going on with my pricing radar. Both of these teams suck. I had the Commanders just by virtue of being the home team at 51. I thought this was going to be a true pick'em. The only time that the Titans have looked somewhat impressive was yesterday against the Colts, and I think we can both agree the Colts are terrible. So I had Commanders at 51. What say you?
I think the Commanders are absolutely horrible. I think the Wentz. The Wentz honeymoon is over. They're only scoring on 25% of their drives. So, and the Titans are coming around. I mean, Derrick Henry went off this past week. So I'm going Titans $52.
Titans 57. Anita's up 2-0 and beat me last week. So this is trending poorly for the host of the show. Next one, Falcons and Bucks. Now, this one's interesting, Anita, because we talked all last week about how the Falcons are the most volatile team to trade on Sport Trade. They backed that up by going out and winning again, this time against the Browns, and an opportunity to win you more money. In fact, the Falcons have one of the lowest prices per contract to open a week on Sport Trade, something I'll show you a little bit later. So Falcons-Bucks, this game in Tampa, I guess first last time, so you go first this time.
Yeah, I think the Bucs loss against Kansas City had a lot more to do with the fact that that was a team that had to deal with a hurricane situation, going back and forth to Miami, players having to worry about their family, their hurricane insurance, their pets, all of that. So this is a much better Bucs defense than we saw last night against Patrick Mahomes. I say Bucs at 58, but considering that you told me that the Chargers are at 58 and the Titans are at 57, I think I'm lowballing this. So I say 58, but now I wouldn't be shocked if this is in the 60s. What do you got?
So I guessed Bucs 68, and we were both off. Bucs 78.5 against Atlanta.
Wow.
So there was definitely no chilling effect on the Bucs, according to our market makers, after their loss last night. Again, I think this is a good opportunity for the Falcons. I mean, Cordero Patterson was just put on IR today, so he's out for 4 weeks. But Tyler Algier had over 100 yards yesterday. They are handing it off to another guy whose name I can't remember, of course, but he had a touchdown rushing. I mean, Mariota threw 19 passes, I think, 7 completions, 19 passes, and they still won. Now, Browns defense is not very good, but again, we're talking about sport trading here. I think there's an opportunity for the Falcons to earn you a little money again. I just can't believe it. So, okay, so 2-1 in favor of Anita. Our next game, one near and dear to my heart, the Philadelphia Eagles, the undefeated and only undefeated Philadelphia Eagles, making the Delaware Valley feeling all warm and fuzzy after just a beat down the Jacksonville Jaguars, sort of, yesterday. Going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. I had this at Eagles 65. What do you think, Anita?
I have this at Eagles 58 just because the Cardinals did win yesterday. And I think you and I have talked about this before, right? Because of the collective bargaining agreement and how the lack of practice and the lack of physicality at practice during training camp, teams really don't begin to show what type of identity, what they're about until week 3, heading into week 4. And I think now we're getting a really good grip and grasp of who they are. And I think it's been a slow start for the Cardinals, but I think they're coming around. So I've got Eagles 58.
I am also on the Birds. Obviously, I said 65 at 69. So now we are tied. Whoa. Eagles at 69. And I think that's right there. I don't know how the Cardinals continue to play offense. I mean, they basically are drawing up plays in the huddle. That's at least what it feels like to me. Every time they get in the huddle, Kyler goes, okay, you go here, you do this. I'm going to drop back 25 yards, and I'm going to try to just out-athletic everybody. I just don't know how that's sustainable. Packers and Giants, this one being played in Jolly London. This was a number that really surprised me. I'll go first. I said the Packers 71 against the 3-1 New York Football Giants, who are in second place in the best division of football. What do you think, Anita?
Who have they played? They've played
nobody,
Tennessee.
Absolutely nobody.
They played Tennessee, Carolina, and the Bears. That's who they've beaten.
Yes.
They did lose to the Cowboys, although, albeit, and, I was there at that game. It was a valiant effort, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They didn't have Leo Williams. Ojulari and Tibbs were on a pitch count. I wish I would have known that. Maybe I would have wagered a different way.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm going Packers here. Packers 62.
Our market mate. Now this is for the win. We're tied at 2. This is for the weekly win.
I'm nervous.
Okay. Our market makers see it as Giants 24.5, Packers 77. So that means strike up the band. Your boy gets a win. 3-2. We're now tied at 1 apiece as we head towards week 5 of the NFL slate. All right. I teased this a little earlier, and I'm curious for your reaction of this, Anita. So I'll pull this up on the screen. These are the highest average opening prices per contract this year on Sport Trade. And next to that is the lowest average opening price on Sport Trade. Something that I think we're going to be really interested to monitor as the season progresses from a markets standpoint. The Bills, $75.50. So even though the Bills are obviously incredibly talented, I just don't see a ton of value in buying them to win. And even on some of their spreads, I mean, this week they're a 14-point favorite against the Steelers, who might be the worst team in the NFL. You've got the Packers there at $69.75. I'm excited for the Packers to play somebody good. because I plan on taking the other side and selling the Packers and making a lot of money off of them. You have the Chiefs, usual suspects, the Rams, again, at 66. That tells you how much higher they've been priced because they're only at 45 tonight. So that kind of gives you an idea of how they have been priced. On the other side, look at the Jets. The Jets, 36.75. They've actually made you money if you just only bought the contract, one contract rather. They opened at 30.50 in week 2, 34.50 in week 3, 41 last week, and 41 this week. And they have 2 upsets. The same as I mentioned can be said for the Atlanta Falcons, an average of just $33 at opening, $19 in week 2, $47.50 in week 3, a game they won. $44 last week, again, a game they won. Now, I'm omitting week 1's, Anita, because Sport Trade was not live at that time. But there's a lot of value to be found all over this bottom side of the board. Not pictured, the Dallas Cowboys, 26th overall at just $41 per contract to open up the week. The Chicago Bears, not much of a value. I clicked on the wrong team. The Jaguars, a ton of value, $41 on average. And that's including this week when they're priced at $75 to win, but previously $35.50, $27.50, $27. I mean, this is what truly separates Sport Trade from everywhere else, in my opinion. There's so much value on betting some of these teams with an expectation that they'll rise in value. You're not necessarily looking to ride them to win. But as we're seeing here, ample opportunity for them to do so. So is there a particular team as you're looking towards the betting week, the trading week? I know you sent me a bunch of your plays that you're eyeing.
Yeah, there's a few, and let's talk about the Dolphins-Jets game for a second. I'm curious, is there a price out there for the Dolphins -3, -2.5?
So at last check, our spread and total markets are yet to be posted. Let me just double check that real quick. I can give you a to win. Yeah, so spread and totals will be coming up shortly. The Jets are priced at $37.50 to win. The Dolphins at $63.5. Now, the Dolphins came out and said Tua Tagovailoa will not be quarterbacking this team, so it will be Teddy Bridgewater. But you're confident in Teddy.
I am. Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Covers is his nickname.
2 gloves, Teddy Covers.
24-6 against the spread on the road.
Wow.
Zach Wilson had his debut yesterday, albeit against a Pittsburgh Steelers team. Let's be honest. They make the switch at quarterback. Kenny Pickett comes in. He throws 3 interceptions, and the Jets are able to win the ball game. Good for them. But this Dolphins defense is much better and much different, I should say, than of course the Pittsburgh Steelers defense without T.J. Watt, and Micah Fitzpatrick was not playing at 100%. So anyway, I would buy the Dolphins here. I think you're getting them at a really, really good price, considering that the Jets just came off of a win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Another one that I'm looking at is the Seattle Seahawks going up against the Saints. Here's a little nugget for you. So the Minnesota Vikings traveled to London the day before the game.
Wild.
Because they're putting more emphasis in a more important win for them against the Bears this coming week. So they didn't want their players to get acclimated to the London time zone. Meanwhile, the Saints were there all week long.
Yeah.
Okay. And they lost. So you've got Alvin Kamara dealing with some injuries. You've got Michael Thomas dealing with some injuries. Landry dealing with some injuries. There's a chance that Andy Dalton starts again. So, man, the Seattle Seahawks getting. So what do you have a number or a line there?
I do. So we just have 2 wins right now. Amy chiming in on the chat says you got to be real diamond hands with the Jets, and I couldn't agree more. I might dip a toe into the Jets to win field this weekend, despite the fact that nothing makes me happier than Tyreek Hill having huge games and then talking about going there only for state tax purposes. Seahawks to win, $33, Saints 68.5. The Seahawks just put up 50 points last weekend. Geno Smith, I believe, completion percentage over 70, and nothing about the Saints scares me whatsoever. So that might be a game I may be placing some trades on as soon as the live stream is over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Get the Seahawks at 33. That's tremendous. The Saints team is going to be pretty beat after they just spent a week in London.
And that pretty much jives with what we've been seeing from them, Anita. An average per contract at market open at $35. Okay, we're going to wrap things up here. Why don't you give us the rest of your plays for this week?
Yeah, again, talking about what the Saints did with their travel plans to London, loved what the Minnesota Vikings did as well. Again, going there for only 24 hours to play the Saints. And of course, they ended up winning. So I like the Vikings going up against the Bears. Listen, this Bears offense is just totally anemic. So I like the Vikings. Also, Detroit and Patriots, I'd like the over. I can't wait to see what's released in regard to the over 46.5. Bailey Zappi, listen, this dude's not bad.
No, he looks really good.
If Mac Jones can't go, and hopefully Detroit's hoping to get both DeAndre Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown back. So I like the over in that game. And keep an eye on the Bengals, right? Like this line opened up at 3.5. It's now dropped down to 3. I like the Bengals at 3.5. As we know, this is a Baltimore Ravens team. Their secondary is just, an infirmary right now. 23rd in pass defense. And Joe Burrow is finally heating up. I think that appendix surgery he had is now behind him. This offense is gelling. So keep an eye. I like the Bengals. And if I can get them, at whatever that price would be at 3.5, I'm all over it.
I think the total there is pretty attractive too, considering how banged up that Ravens defense is, and the Bengals defense hasn't exactly been lighting the world on fire either. All right, Anita and Marks, thank you so much. Another great week of trading in the books as we look towards Monday Night Football. We're going head-to-head. I look forward to your text messages saying, Dan, I'm so sorry. You were so right all week telling me. Always late on McVay, defending Super Bowl champion. Kyle Shanahan has a cool hat. That's what he's got. But you know what McVay's got? He's got rings. Unlike Shanahan.
Are we together on the under though? Is that something we do agree on?
Yeah. I think this Rams train's going to stop unless they can start running the football. They just can't throw to Cooper Kupp 20 times a game. So yeah, I'm with you on the under. It's a team play on the under, but I think other than that, the text chain will be fire tonight. That's for sure.
We'll have some fun. You'll be hearing from me.
Sounds good. Anita Marks, you can join us every week on Mondays. Thanks so much for being with us here today. Of course, Market Movers every day at 4 p.m. right here from our headquarters in Camden, New Jersey. That's a wrap for today. We'll be right back here tomorrow, same time, same place.